So hello, and welcome back to Simplify Tech. I hope you are having a great day so far. In this video, we will tell you about the top 5 best PC gaming controllers of 2023 that will give you great value and performance. All the gaming controllers that we talk about in this video will be linked down below in the description. If you want to buy any of these, then don't forget to check them out. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. Alright, so first controller is going to be the Xbox Elite Series 2 Core. It was the best high-end PC gamepad. The latest version of Microsoft's pro-grade controller features improved grips, more trigger lock options for faster firing, improved swappable components, and even finer software customization. The Elite Series 2 controller sees some upgrades from the original Elite controller. Its near-endless customization options give you an unparalleled level of control over your gameplay. This model features the swappable analog sticks, 4 back paddles, multiple D-pads, and tunable triggers we loved on the original Elite. You can also remap all the buttons, delivering a gaming experience you can tailor to your needs. The incredible, robust Xbox Accessories app lets you fully remap every button on the controller while tweaking the stick and trigger sensitivities to your liking, and you can store up to 3 profiles on the controller so that you're always ready for your favorite games. The Elite Series 2 also has a rechargeable battery and a USB-C port, and it can charge while still in the carrying case that comes with it. It has up to 40 hours of rechargeable battery life, which is really great. It also has Bluetooth support, making it easier to pair with your PC or smartphone. If you take your Gears, Fortnite, or Forza games seriously, this is the controller to own. The controller itself is matte black, with rubberized grips covering both controller legs, unlike its successor, which only had these on the backs of the legs. On the front, there are the standard X, A, Y, and B buttons, alongside the standard Xbox, share, and menu buttons, and a profile button. The beauty of the Series 2, however, is that there are also changeable analog sticks and D-pad buttons that you can simply pop off and replace magnetically with any of the buttons included with the controller. You get a set of 6 thumbsticks, including 2 standard, 2 classic, 1 tall, and 1 white dome. In addition, there's a set of 4 paddles, including 2 medium and 2 mini, and a set of 2D pads, standard and faceted. At the rear of the controller are 4 silver paddles, 2 on each side, and 2 switches which allow you to adjust the controller's hair trigger locks. Pros: comfortable rubberized grip, lots of customization options, support for 3 onboard profiles, rechargeable 40 hours battery life. Cons: heavy compared to most controllers. Moving on, second gaming controller on the list is the Sony DualSense. It has a slick white body accented by matte black analog sticks, and the DualSense is a surprisingly attractive controller in the flesh. While it has a new PlayStation symbol embossed home button and the aforementioned built-in mic, aside from the swap share and start buttons, you'd be mistaken for thinking this was just a bigger version of what came before. Sony has put most of the controller's length into its grips, resulting in thicker and longer handles, and the result is the comfiest PS controller yet. Speaking of the grip, these elongated handles are now textured, too. It weighs around 282 grams, which is slightly heavier than its predecessor. That weight is well balanced, though, and ultimately leads to a more comfortable feeling as you hold it, and it has around 12 hours of battery life. Aesthetically, it is white with black accents, including the analog sticks and triggers, and there's an incredible attention to detail, from the way the side panels flare up just a little bit on either side of the touchpad to the textured grip on the back panel, which is actually made using tiny, almost indistinguishable versions of the PlayStation face button shapes. It has dual analog control sticks, each of which also acts as a clickable button. 4 face buttons with the iconic PlayStation symbols on the right, a PlayStation-shaped button, a create button, an options button, and shoulder buttons. At the top of the DualSense are the L1, L2, R1, and R2 shoulder buttons. In the center column, the share button has been replaced with a create button, and it pulls up a system-level menu that lets you choose between taking screenshots, recording a clip of what just happened, or starting a new recording. The DualShock 4 touchpad returns, but is now matte white with an RGB light bar around the rim. Below that, the built-in speaker is also back, alongside a logo-shaped PS button. Below the PS button, you have the new built-in microphone. The mic just looks like a tiny dot on the outside, but it is capable of picking up anything and everything directly around it. Pros: adaptive triggers, super accurate thumbsticks, haptic rumble, sturdy and comfortable to grip. Cons: battery life could be better. The third controller on our list is the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma. The Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma is a slick controller with exceptional capabilities. But why settle for a wired controller without taking advantage of one of its biggest perks, a consistent power supply? That's just what the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma does. It takes that quality controller and builds in Razer's signature RGB lighting without bringing any battery life concerns. The lighting can even react to information coming in from some games, or you can just use it to express your style. The controller will not disappoint you either. It has a textured grip around the handles to help you keep a firm grip on it. The thumbstick caps are swappable for your desired feel, while 4 buttons on the underside, a pair of extra shoulder buttons, and hair trigger locks provide ample flexibility. And with Razer's Mecha Tactile switches for the action buttons and D-pad, you won't get a squishy feel from the controls. It is equipped with extra remappable buttons, Razer Chroma RGB, swappable thumbsticks, and more. It has 6 additional remappable buttons, unleash greater control, and a more personalized playstyle with 4 extra triggers and 2 remappable bumpers. The analog thumbsticks have a magnetic attachment system for the caps, which allows you to swap between a taller concave cap, which allows for better accuracy when aiming in shooters, and a smooth convex cap, which provides more fluid movement for your thumb. The unique D-pad features a slightly raised circular design, making diagonal inputs easier than on a standard Plus-style D-pad. At the top of the controller are your standard left and right bumpers, which have a lightweight, almost hollow feel to them when pressed. Behind those are the 2 triggers, which also feature a bit of customization. On the rear of the controller are 4 more customizable triggers. For a competitive edge, you can activate hair trigger mode via 2 slide locks on the underside of the controller that greatly reduce the travel distance to the main triggers, enabling an ultra-fast rate of fire, and an interchangeable thumbstick cap that includes a set of short and extended grips for a more natural and precise analog motion to fit your playstyle. Also, the controller's modified L-shaped hand grips come with non-slip rubber grips for a secure yet agile hold. Pros: excellent ergonomics, Chroma RGB lighting, excellent customization, remappable buttons and triggers. Cons: pricey for a wired controller. Next up on our list is the Turtle Beach Recon. The plug-and-play nature of the Turtle Beach Recon controller is perfect for anyone looking to add a wired controller to their PC. It connects via a detachable USB cord. There's even a headset port on the controller, helping to limit the wires cluttering your PC setup. Turtle Beach takes it a step further by including audio controls for volume, game and chat mix, and mic monitoring all on the gamepad itself. You'll get quickly up to speed in games with the familiar Xbox-style layout of the Turtle Beach Recon controller, so you're all set for Xbox Game Pass games and the wide assortment of titles available on Steam. 2 back paddles are on the gamepad for quick actions, and on the fly button remapping is also available. There are even 4 different profiles preloaded on the Recon, which you can reconfigure to your liking. Finally, the textured finishes on many of the controls and rubberized grips make for a secure handhold. The Turtle Beach Recon controller has a similar layout to the standard Xbox wireless controller. Still, it's distinguishable enough thanks to a few distinct additions to its design. Above the Xbox button is a small section crammed with controls for fine-tuning. Here, you'll find the buttons for volume, mode, select, mic mute, chat volume, and superhuman hearing, as well as icons that light up to indicate the current mode or feature that's toggled on. On the backside, there are 2 ribbed quick action buttons that are mappable, although they aren't mapped to anything by default. Finally, both of its grips are lined with textured, rubberized pads to not only improve your grippage but also keep your hands cool. The Recon controller feels like it's made of durable, high-quality plastic that is solid enough to take a beating. Its buttons feel just as sturdy. It is noticeably bigger than the original Xbox Series X and Xbox One controllers. It's also a tad heavier at 300 grams. Unfortunately, those do add to its bulk, perhaps making it less comfortable in smaller hands. Pros: brings headset features to any wired headphones with a mic, comfortable, solid build quality. Cons: the customization features have a big learning curve, not the slickest looking controller. Now moving on to the next controller in our list, that is the PowerA Enhanced Wired Controller. This is the best budget controller and a strong option that ditches wireless connectivity in order to hit a low price point. Since you need a special adapter or Bluetooth to use the Xbox Core controller wirelessly with a PC anyway, many of us would likely choose a wired connection. The controller itself provides a decent bit of heft, helped along by 2 vibration motors. It's got all the buttons you need for your games and even takes a page out of the Xbox Elite Controllers book. On the underside of the PowerA Enhanced controller, you'll find 2 small buttons that can serve as shortcuts to face buttons. That allows you to keep your thumbs firmly in place on the analog sticks while still being able to activate abilities mapped to the ABXY controls. However, holding onto this controller when your hands get sweaty can prove a bit challenging due to the lack of rubberized grips. It has the typical Xbox shape, a glowing Xbox button in the middle, and all the buttons in the right places. However, it's a bit chunkier, giving it a hand feel closer to the previous Gen Xbox One controller. There's a diamond texture etched into the grips, but it's far less grippy than the tiny dots on the official controller. Even though the chassis is larger, the PowerA controller is surprisingly light at just 208 grams. Thankfully, the cable is removable, but the port between the triggers controllers is an old-fashioned micro USB. Current-gen controllers from Microsoft and Sony use the newer USB-C standard. These cables are reversible and more durable, but micro USB works fine, and the controller comes with a long 10-feet cable. The bottom edge hosts a 3.5mm headphone jack, and just above that on the face of the controller is the volume toggle. This is the most obvious departure from the stock controller, which doesn't have any dedicated hardware buttons for volume control. Flip it over, and you'll see the other hardware tweak, a pair of programmable buttons on the grips and a button in the middle to configure them. The PowerA ABXY cluster has more travel with less tactility. Pros: much lighter than official controller, physical volume toggle, responsive controls, programmable buttons. Cons: mushy D-pad, uses old micro USB port instead of USB-C, so you can go for any of the PC gaming controllers that fit in your budget. They are all great options, and that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope this video was helpful for you. If you like this video, then make sure to subscribe to this channel.